Hey everybody, this is Greg. I wanted to go ahead and record a video on how to remove the rear wheel from a Freedare. I have the Sega, but I'm assuming the other model would be the same, the step-through model. I looked around on YouTube. I didn't find anything specific to the Freedare bikes, so I thought I'd go ahead and record something. The reason I'm removing my rear tire is I'm making some modifications here. I've upgraded the derailleur and also the freewheel to a different. So the standard one is a 1428, and what happens with that one in the lowest gear with the 14th, or I should say the highest gear, you do get some ghost pedaling at speed, and this will help with that. This will swap the highest gear from an 11, or I should say from a 14 to an 11. This is actually an 1134, and it turns out this is actually a little bit bigger. I'm learning this process obviously with these modifications, but I actually wanted an 1132, not an 1134. So I made the mistake. I shouldn't say I made the mistake, but I went in and mounted up this 1134, then kind of realized my mistake. I ordered 1132, so now I'm going to be taking this back apart again to swap this freewheel out again. So I thought I'd go and take this opportunity to record a video. The disassembly and removing the rear wheel is actually very easy on the Sega. A lot of e-bikes, if we come around to this end, a lot of e-bikes will run the I guess the power cord will run in through the end of the axle. Freedare doesn't do that. It's mounted. You can't really quite see it, but yeah, it's just mounted differently, so it's not mounted directly through the axle, which makes it a lot simpler to take apart. And on the Freedare, another little cool thing with the Freedare is look at this attention to detail. They've put these little cable mounts for the zip ties on the frame here. I mean, how cool is that? Most companies would just zip tie those to the frame and not have that little touch there. So you're going to you'll need to clip these 3 zip ties here in these locations to free up the cable. And then there's a little really nice cable, by the way. Again, if you look at some of the cheaper made e-bikes, they have a really cheesy little plug. This one has a waterproof connector. You simply unthread that all the way and then pull on it. You can see there's an O-ring there to keep water out, and then that will free up this cord so you can remove the rear wheel. You can see here I've already removed, it's a 19 millimeter nut and washer on each side. You can see I've got those set here on the ground, 19 millimeter nut. You remove those 2. The little guard will be over the, here we go, will be over the axle like this. And then you'll have the washer and nut that goes on the outside. And when you take that off, this will just hang here on the shifting cable. It's not real heavy, so it's not going to put any stress on that, so you won't have any problems. Now, one thing you probably will run into when these are tightened down, these rear wheels are tightened down, and you've ridden them, the tire sort of gets I don't know how you would say, locked into place. But when you take off the nuts and you go to lift it, it's not going to want to come out. It's going to seem like it's stuck. And I think I think that's by design. Once these are tightened down and you ride them, it kind of pulls the axle forward a little bit and kind of locks it in place. And all you have to do is use either a mallet or a dead blow hammer. It doesn't need much, and all you need to do is just tap a few times on the axle like this, and that will break the. I think this one's probably already, but that will break the axle loose. And then everything just lifts right out. Now, obviously, you're going to have a chain. At this point, your chain is going to be, around your derailleur, and you're going to need to slacken the derailleur, pull it down, and then remove the chain in order to get that around. Obviously, I don't have a chain on here, so it comes off very simply. And there you have it. You do want to take special mind to your little adapters here. These go on here straight up, and then those actually will sit. I'll show you on this side. They will sit down inside like this when you have the tire on. So you just want to make sure you have these little spacers facing up and out when you remount the tire. But fairly simple process. I'm gonna go and leave this off for now. Let's get this over here. Bear with me here, folks. So in order to take this freewheel off, there's a little tool you need to buy. It's about 10 bucks. And let me grab my big crescent wrench. It's about 10 bucks. This is what it looks like. because these thread as a normal, you know, lefty, you know, righty tighty, lefty loosey, but you can't just spin it off. You have to have this to lock it in place on the inside, and then get your wrench. And go ahead, and again, it's regular threads. It'll be lefty loosey. And at that point, once you break it loose, just continue to spin this, and it will unthread the freewheel. Not quite there yet. There we go. And off it comes. And there you have the freewheel. Now the factory freewheel has a washer that goes in here, or a spacer that goes in here. If you do go with a modified one such as this one, you want to remove that spacer. It's not needed with this. This is a much beefier, heavier duty freewheel than the factory. But anyway, the reason I'm doing all this today is, as I said, this is on a 14 tooth and then a 34 on the outside, and that's actually too big. That'll be too low of a gearing. You can kind of see it says 34T here at the top. So yeah, I'll be swapping that out for a 32. One other thing that also ends up happening when you do this, you need to lengthen your chain. So I have a new chain coming, and then this is the new the Acera derailleur. The tourney that comes with the bike is okay. You know, you have to understand these companies, they cut back in certain areas to keep the cost down on the bikes. That's why most of the time they come with crappy seats and, you know, kind of crappy handlebars and cheaper components such as the derailleur, which is an important part, obviously, of your bike. I mean, that's doing a lot of work. So this one, the Acera, is the tourney has a lot of plastic. This one's all metal parts to it. It's really not that expensive. I want to say it was around $25 or so, but I'll have a link in the description of this video. I spent a ton of time and created a blog post on my blog that shows all of the parts I've upgraded my bike with, and also instructional videos on how to do these modifications. They're really, if you're decent with hand tools and you know your way around, you know, a garage, they're all very easy to do. Especially the derailleur. I know the derailleur is kind of a part of mystery for a lot of people, me included. It's kind of a magical little engineering going on here, and they seem really hard to adjust, but they're actually very simple once you find the right video and the person. Anyway, I scoured YouTube and found an excellent video that really simplifies all the adjustments here of the derailleur. So yeah, at this point, I'm waiting for the new freewheel to get here. Once that gets here, I'll put that on, put the rear tire back in, I'll film that. And then it's a matter of getting the new chain, getting the right size of the chain with the new freewheel, and getting everything put back together. Then of course making final adjustments here on the derailleur for the shifting. And then I'll do a test ride and let everybody know how that works. And yeah, if you have any questions, just leave some comments below the video. And like I said, this will be kind of part one of this video. I'll go into the reinstall here once I get all the parts. All right, thanks again.